Hello, my butterfly friends. Today, you're not going to see me because evidently the camera that I have, you can have it pointed one way or the other, but you can't do both. So I thought I would just give you a tour of the meadow today just by pointing. I would like to go out there, but it's cold and it's been raining most of today. It's kind of dry at the moment, thankfully. But I thought I would just let you see what all's out in the meadow. Obviously, here are the greenhouses. I showed you the inside of, this is the one that the raccoons had the rave in. That's the one that we call the treehouse. And this one over here is the one we call the sale house, where we have all of the plants and stuff for sale during the summer. So let's start. You can't see it from here. It's actually over there, past those two houses. That's where you're going to enter the meadow. And you come up here, just on the other side of this garage is where the lavender is going to start. About where I'm pointing right now, out over by the field, is the highest part of the meadow. And I'm putting the lavender up there because it likes to have its toes dry. It doesn't like a lot of extra moisture. And given the lay of the land between here and over here, there's actually about 10 feet of fall through that whole area. So the lavender is going to go over there, way over. Do you see the plowed field over there? It's going to go over by the plowed field that way. Now the land, see the, I'm trying to look through my hand, trying to look with my eyes at what I'm pointing at and what the camera is pointing at. So let me try to do this again. Right here, you see is a corner of the woods right there. Our land actually goes back a little bit further, but you can't really see it from here. So this part of the land right here on the other side of the trees is going to be the peonies, the roses, the irises, lilacs, and so on and so forth. Right here, through the trees, right through there, is where we had some zinnias and sunflowers this past summer. And then if you come over here, you can see in the distance where I have, I can zoom at least. Good. So right there is where we have the willows. Now you'll notice I've got this great big ugly brush pile, both here and over there. These walnuts drop an amazing amount of wood every year. I don't know if you can see it in the yard now, but there is a lot of brushwood that needs to be picked up. Furthermore, do you see that lovely branch right there? That got broken off in our tornado last May, and it's just hanging there. It came off of, I think it's the same tree, but it got all twisted around. Ooh, nope, that's just a crow. I thought one of our hawks was going to land in the tree, but nope, it's just a crow. So like I said, there's going to be all of the peonies, irises, lilacs, roses, etc. Now, from the willows up here to the edge of the walnuts is going to be all wildflowers. I'm going to use that as a buffer. I think I've talked about it before. The walnut trees emit a substance called juglone, and it's a survival mechanism. It kind of poisons everything else, prevents everything else from growing, and just makes sure that it's kind of the only thing. Other native species can survive the juglone, but exotic species, that is, trees and plants and stuff. Oh, we just had a bunny. I don't think you can see him. He's racing across the meadow over there. Other trees and such cannot tolerate juglone, and it kills them eventually. So we've got all these walnut trees. They were here when we moved in. The man who built the house years ago planted them with the idea of eventually harvesting the walnut wood, but they ended up selling the house and moving away. Long story, not worth going into. But there we have it. Oh, further back this way, way back in this area here in the back, I'm thinking about putting more cut flowers back there. Maybe elderberries and raspberries and blueberries. Not blueberries, excuse me. I don't have the right soil for that. Where this area goes back that way, I'm also thinking about putting berries back there. I don't know. This over here is an excellent area for butterfly plants, especially because it's shielded on 3 sides from the wind. Let me think. You can't really see them. Oh, yeah, you can. Let me take you this way to the east, and you can see how close I live to one of the windmills. Oh, some birds are having an issue over there. I don't know if you can see it, but through the redbud tree here, way off in the distance, are more windmills. I can't see them on the camera, but I am surrounded by windmills. The leaves are starting to pop out just the tiniest bit, so you can't really see them. Let me see if I can get you looking through here. Yeah, can you see, like right through the trees through here? There's a big radio tower, and in the distance there's another windmill just to the right of the radio tower. They're a little bit further off to the west this way, but lots of wind in this area. And this front part here of the meadow that's messing with the focus. There we go. This front part of the meadow is windy, but once you get past this corner over here, back in this section back here, the wind really dies down. Unfortunately, it's only about 2/3 of an acre that is, not so windy back there. Everything else is pretty windy. But along that western edge is where I'm going to be planting a windbreak of prairie willows and crab apples, dogwoods, probably chokeberries, a bunch of things that will create berries for the birds in winter. And lest I forget, she's been rubbing up against my legs, is Blossom. Come here, baby. Come here and talk to our friends. Wow, yes, here's Blossom. Say hi, baby. Yes, this is Blossom. Brr. Yes, you're a good girl. You're a very good girl. All right, that's all for today, my butterfly friends. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.